partying.
That's fine, but you've gotten some writing done, which is important because last month when we were talking, we were both in that just
Yeah. And then, Thursday night, or actually whatever night, I started reading something, and I'm sort of in. It was one of the Kickstarters I followed to get the ebook, just
Okay.
because I wanted to follow somebody. And I'm actually on the third book today, so I did a little reading on the porch because my brain is mush from the 2 a.m. I went to Kenny Chesney last night, people. So I'm just
Somebody's been out partying, having fun.
Yes, just a little bit. So I'm a wee bit tired.
Good. I'm glad to hear you out having fun and getting some writing done.
Yep.
More positive outlook than last month.
Yes. I was like, okay, it's time to kick myself in the butt and get myself moving, and and regardless of whether, now that we're live, this Kickstarter goes through. See the pretty.
That's my favorite cover.
And then I did the edging. Yep, the edges.
That is so cool.
So that's the one with CC printing. So I have to do a print run for that. So that's why.
Ooh.
I mean, this might be the only one of that if it doesn't go through.
Hey, Anita got some writing done too.
Yeah,
good job, Anita.
Good. Yes.
Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Spilling Ink, the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing industry. And as you can tell, we're in much better spirits this month than last month, which is a good thing.
Yes.
We needed a little positivity.
Yes, and it looks like maybe the wave is going upward now instead of like the downward trend like we were on. We hit the trough. Now we're going up.
We need some good news right now.
Yes.
It has been a hard year.
2024
has just it's almost been like just a constant, pounding each month of something new where you're going, okay, what next?
Well, didn't you say last year when you read my stars chart, you said this year, this year's going to be especially challenging. So I sort of was.
That's why I had to stop looking, because every time I looked and I saw the negativity, I'm like, no, maybe astrology is not right. Maybe it won't be so bad.
Yes.
I've been so afraid to look because I don't want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Well, we're at the, and I'm having a hot flash. News flash. I'm having a lot more hot flashes.
That's not good news. No.
Well, it's a side of something else, which is kind of good news. If you look at it.
It depends on how you look at it. Sure.
For a romance writer, you don't ever have to worry about that. My husband's happy. He's not blocked for a week of the month.
See, there's a positive spin. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, the hot flashes are, becoming a thing. But it's during the day or the evenings.
It's not affecting your sleep schedule yet?
Before I was having them, I'd wake up full sweats.
Oh God, that's the worst.
And knock on wood, now it seems to be more daytime that I can't regulate my temperature.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can deal with the daytime. The nighttime is awful.
Yeah.
On covers, off covers, on covers, off covers. Like getting a workout on your arm.
I'm over the heat, like officially so over this heat.
Oh, you should have come to New England last week, because we were up in New Hampshire this week, and it was like struggling to get to 60 degrees. It was cold.
I'm jealous.
And I'm like, I want to be like this, with the.
I'm jealous. It has been so freaking hot here.
Yeah.
And my car AC went out, which makes it even worse.
Yes, that always is worse. And you can't drive fast enough with the windows down to get cool.
My windows have been broken for a couple of years now, right?
Yes, I do.
I can't even open the windows to make it cooler.
Oh my gosh, so you're driving in an oven. you poor thing. Do you have the little, battery operated fans all over the place?
I do turn the blower on, and while it
Okay.
doesn't blow cold air, it's not blowing broiling hot air at me, so it
Right.
does create a fan effect. It's not cold by any stretch of the
Right.
imagination, but
Right.
it's moving air, and moving air feels better than just the oven.
Stagnant. Yeah, the
But
stagnant
yeah.
air. Well, yeah, and the stagnant air is not good for you.
And now that the kids are back in school, the school runs are just brutal.
Mm,
I'm over it. I can't wait for cooler weather.
yes, yes. I'm like, I've always told you, come this way. You have to deal with the sweltering humidity for like what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks
Take
a
it.
year?
I'll take it.
And then the frozen precipitation. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had on the hottest day, we had no air conditioning in this thing. The tin can, basically.
Yeah.
So when it was like 110 degrees in here, we're like, yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
yep. Even the fans weren't doing it. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was kind of sad. So I feel your pain. At least you have air conditioning in the apartment.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I come
Yeah.
home from the school run, and I just kinda sit in front of the fan like
Yes. Yep.
cool off.
And when you're thinking, this is not what I meant when my characters were hot and bothered. This is absolutely not that.
I was hot and I was bothered, but not in that way.
Not in a happy way. Yeah. Well, my friend read my latest book. She said, "You made me cry again." I'm like, "Yay!" Sorry.
I love how giddy you get when you make people cry. That's good.
Well, they had a strong emotion to the book, which is what you want,
Yes,
and
yes.
and
Not
and
I'm not saying anything negative about that. It's just funny because,
yes.
I make
Well,
them cry.
yeah, exactly. Normal people aren't like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can be normal and be a writer. It doesn't work.
I'm probably the normalist one, sort of ish, maybe. I don't drink coffee, so I don't follow the, coffee mode.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. You need to have some kind of caffeine addiction.
Yeah, and which I don't. Which is frightening because can you imagine me on caffeine?
That would be fun. I think I would actually like to see that.
I can't drink coffee. It's yucky. It's like no. And now I have to watch out because my husband uses coconut cream in his coffee. We had the coconut conversation. Yeah.
Sharing the coffee then.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, one of our neighbors up here, our friends over that actually bought a house in the town. She had it one day when he was over there for coffee, had coffee, and he's like, "Ooh, what is this?" May I take some home? Actually, she sent it because we were supposed to go to the store and we ended up there way later than we expected.
That's usually a good visit.
Yes, it is. It is.
What are you writing now?
Right now, I'm writing book 2 to this.
Mm.
I like that. It shines.
No, it's so
shiny. Sorry.
It's so pretty.
And it's funny because I was looking at the paper stock for the cover. It's really nice. It's a nice, heavier. I can't see this. Heavier than, what you normally get for paperbacks. So I was like, ooh, check that out.
Yeah, how much does that cost though to get it all put together with the side printing, the foil, all that?
Well, you have to do a print run. That's the backside of it. But I think it's with the print run, it's about $6 a book. And then you have shipping, of course.
Ouch.
Which the shipping is
Yeah.
almost as much as the books from
Ouch.
overseas. Yeah. Yeah. So, and you have to have a minimum run. I got quoted for 350 books, but I don't think I'll need that. And
Is
if I
that the
do,
minimum, or what is the minimum?
I don't, I've heard people getting less than that, but the book costs go up.
Okay.
So, I'm pretty sure the cost would be the same, but if I did if I was able to do 200 instead of 350,
Mm-hmm.
that
Better number to
would
work
be,
with.
yeah, exactly. Of course, it would be really nice to do that on the Kickstarter.
How is the
Um,
Kickstarter going?
I still am at the following stage, and I've only
Okay.
got 24 followers.
Hmm.
So it's slow, but I'm not out there pushing it every day.
Okay.
I had to get my headspace in the right headspace to write the second book. So I haven't been pushing, and we'll see. I think I need to, but
Yeah.
also I'm sort of ambiguous. I was going to do it in September, but I'm kind of ambiguous because a lot of people said hold off until after the election, because election years, around the election time, it's like a madhouse of trying to get seen on anything,
True.
so I'm
That's
like,
true.
well, maybe I will wait and change up all the things. And
But on the other hand, it could be a welcome distraction from all of the election
yeah,
brouhaha.
but they're not. Yeah, but I don't watch it anyway. um the yeah, if I did it in September, I wouldn't get the actual physical books out until March, because there's a more of a long tail there that you have to watch out for. And if I do it later, like in January, they have their Chinese New Year, so the fulfillment of that would be much later.
You just can't win.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, okay, I want to get 150 followers before I press the go button. So if you're out there, follow me. And you don't necessarily have to back the campaign, but if you follow me, Kickstarter will match the number of followers. So you get your email and they'll send it to backers for the same number, from
Okay.
what I understand. So, if
Okay.
I have 150, they'll match it and send it to 150 of their, maybe crazed backers or backers that back something like it.
Interesting.
So yeah, I found that out on the other one. We had a lot of backers, but we didn't have the pretty pictures of what was being offered. So that kind of got there. But yeah, this
You gotta
sucker
be a marketing expert to do everything
this
these days.
sucker costed me like $200 because of mailing. Yes, so it's it's near and dear to my heart, and it's pretty. So it's probably the most expensive book I bought.
That hurts. That hurts to
Yes.
hear.
Yes. Well, getting the proof from overseas
it's required. You've got to see what
yes.
they're doing before you approve it. I know,
Yeah,
but oh
exactly.
God.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. So
The
yeah.
Continual group on Facebook has a Kickstarter thread. Oh,
The Continual group. I'm not sure what I have a whole. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll do that.
do you know
I'll
that
find
group?
No, I don't.
Can you give or shoot us a link or something for that, Anita?
Yeah, that would be
If
great.
you don't want to post it here, you can just shoot us a message on Facebook or something.
Right.
But that's a good lead.
Yeah, that is. And I've done some of the other regular Kickstarter groups, but I have gotten a ton of junk mail. A ton of, oh, I can get you this, I can get you that, I can get you this, and I'm like, ignore. And a lot of people have said that.
On the one hand, as an independent, entrepreneur or whatever, I get it. You've got to reach out to any lead you can, but on the other hand, when you're on the receiving end of so many of those, it's frustrating.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I get at least 6 or 7 a day now, which
Jim Nettles group. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So it's just annoying as hell to get all these. Oh, looks what's your Kickstarter about? And I've written it, in the post. So obviously they have not read the post. They just grabbed my name and did this, and it's just like, at least if you did a little bit of homework
Mm-hmm.
I might consider you valid. But tell me about your Kickstarter. It's like,
when it's an obvious copy paste and they're
yeah,
just
exactly.
anybody they can. I get it.
Yeah. And I know in some cases it might be valid, but in some cases it's scams.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm not answering it. I'm not replying back through Facebook Messenger. It's like, when I was looking at alternatives for insurance, because we now have to get insurance in a month or so. I was looking at something and I thought, oh, this might be an alternative. But then as I got deeper and deeper, I'm like, oh, it's not insurance. It says it in the real fine print. Because I read the real fine print and stuff like that. I have to read the real fine print. And I'm like, oh no, not gonna do that. And the red flag for me was any of the complaints on the site that they had, they sent them to a Facebook Messenger. Please Messenger, send us in. Oh yeah, yeah. Send them. I mean, send them to Facebook Messenger to resolve issues. And I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with any company that's their only mode of access. It's like, no.
I hear you.
Yeah, and recently I was looking at alternatives to Tide. I use Tide, and I was looking at the sheet things. I'm like, oh, and I looked through. I couldn't find any of the ingredients on the thing that I got, but I figured, I'll try it because it'll, the plastic footprint will get a little smaller, but not so much. Not so much.
Trying to do the right thing.
And they sent me the welcome thing. I said, now the dryer sheets and stuff like that don't have coconut, correct? I did, because I finally got somebody, and they said, oh no, it has coconut. I'm like,
Can't win.
Yep, the delivery came. I refused it, and now they're saying, well, and I've got all the tracking of it going back. And they're like, well, we can't find it via the tracking number. So I now sent them a picture because I'm like, I want my money back, guys. So, and it's like, I send an email and 2 days later or 3 days later, I'll get a reply. So I finally did a Facebook dispute because I'm like, I sent it back. Thankfully, I did it through Facebook. Not Facebook, PayPal dispute, not Facebook. We were talking about Facebook, but
I was following.
Yes. So it's like, so
you just can't win.
No, but it's like, okay, I was trying to be a good person, a good human, and I can't be because there's coconut and all this shit, and it's listed in I forget what the ingredient was, but it was not clearly anything to do with cocoa or coconut or palm oil or anything like that. It was just some random, scientific name of something.
Oh, some long word you can't pronounce.
Yeah, it was two words that you can't pronounce, and I'm like, that's why I didn't pick up on it. So now when I ever I see that word written down, I'll be like, yeah, pass, hard pass.
Now you know.
I don't want to get sick again. And I don't want to break out. I don't want to end up having an EpiPen.
Definitely
I'm not there yet, but with it progressively getting worse, maybe.
So back to the Kickstarter.
Yes. Sorry.
What tactics are you going to use to try to gain more followers between now and when you do go live with it?
Well, I mean, there's Facebook groups, there's all my social media stuff. And I think, the ones that I've seen that have been successful have hit up multiple times a day, have hit it daily, multiple times a day, their own groups and all of this stuff. So it's a lot of work that I'm not really prepared to do mentally. I have to be honest.
No, I've
got to do neat graphics. I think my campaign itself looks good because I've got enough white space and pictures, and it is a duplicate of all the pictures, and maybe I should do something else instead of the cover, the cover of the old book with with sort of a landscape.
Mhm.
But that's part of it too, because I'm doing okay. You can get the the special edition, but you can also get the current cover. It won't have the signed things or some of the special things, but the current cover along with the current cover of book 2, which are matching covers.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I go back and forth on it, or I'm thinking, well, it would be a little bit more work, but maybe I could use this cover for the series once I'm done and just do, change the title instead of Wolf Moon, but that means another another proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, or well, I don't know if Bespoke now through what is it? The other local publisher company does the edges.
Hmm.
I know they do even the local one that I had looked at does the foiling, so I could go through them and get the foiling and probably get a smaller print run, but it might be more expensive. And I could go through them to do, some changes if I wanted to instead of going overseas. I wouldn't have to pay shipping because they're local, like really local. Like they deliver
Shipping
them
gets
to my
you.
door.
Shipping just gets you.
Well, the overseas shipping does.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing 300 books, that's so many, that's like a pallet of boxes.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets. And it's, at least 6 weeks to 2 months from the time it leaves their warehouse to the time it arrives.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That
So,
makes it difficult. And you've got to
yeah.
coordinate that with the time that your Kickstarter goes live and hopefully funds with a shipping date
Yep.
estimated to get to people.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
opened up.
have seen quite a few of them pushing their shipping date out because they're getting pushed out by the companies.
Okay.
Like
How does that affect the Kickstarter though? Do people like back out if
well, once it closes, you're done.
Okay.
Once it closes and it funds and they take the money, that's it. There is no backing out at that point.
I ask because I don't know. I'm legitimately
Okay.
asking
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
don't know these things.
Yeah. No, there is no, oh, I don't want to do that once it closes.
Okay.
Once it closes, you have to wait.
And that's when the money actually funds, right?
Yes.
So when somebody pledges their money, it doesn't actually fund to you until it closes.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, there's 2 things. Until it closes, as long as it's funded, as long as it meets the minimum amount that you put in. And for mine, I put in the minimum amount with a little bit more to be able to get these from overseas.
Right. Well, yeah, you have to cover whatever the cost is. Otherwise, it's not worth doing.
Well, the cost and the cost of shipping, not only shipping to me, but shipping out to my backers.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to do all the cost, the materials, whatever you're including and things like that. That's why digital rewards, like, the pictures of stickers and things like that, digitally are a low cost perspective from, from the producer of the
And do you have backers who just want the simple stuff and will back the simple stuff?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I've seen people who just want the ebooks, even though there's the special. I'm, one of those because it's like going out and buying an ebook from Amazon, basically. Okay. I'm not really high on the bookmarks and things like that. So, because I don't have a decent printer. Honestly, that's why.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know, or something that I can do photo quality stuff and then cut it and fold it and whatnot. But a lot of people like that. So
Anita says digital rewards are nice
yes,
for international. Yeah, because the
yeah,
shipping.
yeah,
Oh, that shipping is terrible.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of like on that, you know, when I have to put it in. But
Mhm.
you know, either that or I keep it to US and keep it
But that limits
reasonable.
your
Yeah,
reach if you limit it just to
exactly.
US.
Yeah, you know, US and Canada I could probably do, but even Canadian, there's a bump up.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I thought about, okay, well, you know, I could offer the non-pretty book that I have already at the non-shiny, the non-shiny.
It's still pretty. It's just not
I know. The one that I got that I have sitting at Ingram Spark.
Mhm.
You know, it's not out there, but I do have a copy there that looks as nice, but not, you
It's
know, it
just not
doesn't have the
shiny.
yeah,
It
and
doesn't
it
have the
doesn't have
side
the
print.
edges. Yeah, exactly. So I have that option and then do stretch goals of this. I don't know.
Mhm. I hear that. Back a
Yeah.
Kickstarter, but the shipping killed it.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, that's the kicker. You know, and and I have tiers. So I've got and I have the Shades of Night paperbacks in there too because it's in the same world.
Okay.
Um, you know, I've tied it in with the, you know, spin-off from that. So I have 5 other paperbacks. And I have another tier that has the special, well, the hardbacks of the series.
Okay.
So I have that. It's not this, but it's the other series. So it's like, yeah, you know, I decided to be a little, you know, whatever with my tiers.
But isn't like the thought process, the more tiers, the better? Because it's more
Some
options for people to pick and choose what they want to back?
sometimes, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
your
know,
ultimate goal with the Kickstarter is to get that certain dollar value, and
right.
the tiers just kinda help you add up to that point.
Exactly. Exactly. And I did add a tier, which, you know, I might have to change it if I finish, you know, book 1 in the fantasy before before I do the Kickstarter because I do have name name, you know, I have 5 high tiers to name characters, you know.
Be careful with the naming characters thing.
I know. It was a naming a side character because it's not a main character.
Yeah, I made that mistake once, and I still don't like that character's name.
Yeah, was it a side character?
No, it was a main character.
Oh, I need to know who.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you later. Not my
But
favorite
yeah,
character name. But
yeah,
I honored it. I named the character. It's
yeah,
out there, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite character.
yeah. Well, I mean, as a side character, it could be, you know, an appearance of somebody who never is in there. And at first I was like, I had 25, and I'm like, what am I kidding? I'm like, what am I doing? You know, in my head, I'm like, I'll never be able to deal with 25 people. Although it's, you know, this Fae universe. So it could be, you know, whatever.
The
So
weirder the names, the better.
probably, yes, you know, and I have a list of all the different creatures in that world too. So
Okay.
I'm world building a little bit. So it's kind of
Okay.
neat. It's kind of neat. And I think I'm on like chapter, I don't know. I got 10% of it done.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, that
Well,
one.
compared to last month when you're like,
Yep.
I can't get myself to write,
Yep.
that's something. That's progress.
Yep. And I have about 10% of the next book.
Okay.
Which has to go to the editor in October.
You work best on deadlines. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah,
You
but
get
I'm like,
deadline all
okay.
the time. You'll get there.
it's like, okay, what am I doing? You know, we're going away in October. Well, actually, we're going away after it's due. So I think I'm okay.
You're good. You'll get there.
Yep, exactly.
The deadlines for you have always been that extra little push.
Yes.
To work
Yes.
through whatever it is. You're like, I just got to get it done. I'm going to do it.
Yep, because somebody else's paycheck depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I have that, you know, that the responsibility in the back of my head that goes, yeah. And yeah, without a deadline, I mean, I sort of flounced around last year, like, and at the beginning of this year, the same thing, trying to set up. Well, I had a purpose. I was trying to set up my website, trying to set up, you know, the direct buy options and things like that. And
that's a lot of work too.
yes.
So it's not like you weren't doing anything. That's a lot of work because you have
Yes.
so many freaking books.
Yes, I do. I think it's like 85 or 86 now with the additions, with the series editions.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of work on your plate just to do that.
Yes,
So
yes.
you weren't just not doing anything.
Yes, but all of that was not focused on what really brings in the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though my paperbacks took off that 1 month, it's back in the dungeon. But I did stop all my ads this month. You know, because I'm like, you know, yeah, I stopped all my ads, but I'm still selling books.
Okay, good.
So, you know, like I even stopped the Amazon ads because I'm like, I'm not really seeing a lot. And it's funny because as soon as I stopped, I started to see an uptick. And
you
I'm
gotta
not
wonder
sure
if there's like some algorithm that realizes this. Like it sets you at just a level to keep you going with the ads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always wonder if there's some kind of, you know, fuckery going on in the background.
Yeah, possibly.
Because anytime I would do ads and I would see a keyword that works and I would add to that keyword,
yeah,
that keyword would no longer work. It's like, but you were just working a minute ago.
Yep, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I wasn't seeing tons of stuff, and Facebook I stopped a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen a little bit, but then the algorithms and everything changed, and I'm like, you know, at this point, word of mouth is okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep, I hear that. I wish I knew the magic, you know, trick to make books sell.
I know.
You know,
I think we all would like that, you know, little magic pixie dust sprinkled on us.
I wasted so much money trying to chase things that just weren't working.
Right,
and it's frustrating.
Like, you know, I've tried chasing, you know, the whole what's hot now.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I gotta write the things that I really like to write.
Yeah. You got to rekindle that love of writing by writing what you want.
The things that I love, you know, I'm starting to like the fantasy one, even with the outline.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily following the outline, but I think I've been away from it long enough that I'm like, oh, okay, so this, you know, I've got 3 bullets in each chapter.
Okay.
That's supposed to happen. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
The to-do list.
It's a to-do list, and I'm like, okay, I can do that, and then I'm like, but it has to connect to the other stuff. So maybe not this, but I'll do this.
That's always been my favorite way to non-outline outline is don't put all the details in, because then to me the story's already written.
Right.
But the to-do list gives me the goals, and then you still have the creative freedom to work with that. And I know for you hardcore plotters out there, that's not going to work for you.
Right.
But for pantsers, that is a
like
good non-plotting way to plot.
Yeah, and I you know, the problem with book 2 is I'm not sure where I'm going with it. It was sort of like the problem with the other book I wrote, and it took me a little while to get there, but once I got there, it just
I love when that happens. I do love when that happens.
Yeah, but this one I'm like, okay, you know, is it the couple in this book, or is it their legacies, or is it a combination? I started it at the end of this. I started it a little bit after the end of this, so it's those characters, but I've jumped at least once,
Okay.
time span. And it's tough because my main character in this book now is in a wheelchair.
Oh.
He's a werewolf in a wheelchair. Yes. Yeah.
I'm picturing the doggy wheelchair right now.
I know. No. It's not like that. But I did that, and I'm like, okay, well, I have to now consider how a paraplegic works.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what their challenges are and all of that. So this is, I've done the rabbit hole of research.
But the research, okay, for me, the research is always the fun part. I love researching weird and crazy stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But you can go down the rabbit hole and just waste hours upon hours.
Yeah. Well, I now have a thing of reports from people who had been somebody asked a question here or here or here, and I got it in the return of stuff. So I'm like, okay, I've got positives and I've got real negatives. I've got,
I still am picturing a wolf in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know. Yes. So,
and I say that because Missy with her hip issues will eventually probably end up with a puppy wheelchair.
Yeah.
Which will be sad, but we're hoping to go a very long time before that happens.
Yeah.
She's 6 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. We had the fur ball last weekend here. We had Klaus. So yes, and it's like he's 4 years old now. It's like, oh my gosh.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, he was my son's COVID dog, so he got him during COVID while he was living with Vicky, not with us. Because we moved. We moved out of state.
4 years ago seems like both forever ago and yesterday at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, where did we keep going. It was really 4 years ago. It was really 4 years ago. Holy crap.
Right.
So,
time is not moving correctly.
Yeah. Yes. I think we've said this before. This, it's something about last year and this year being quite warped.
Yeah.
The timeline continuum got a bump somehow.
We have speed run through this year, I swear.
Yes, I'm like, it's and with the countdown, it's fast and slow because on the 4 days we have off now, because we have Mondays and Fridays off, we only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have to really, I think I've said this before, look at our pillbox to know the date. It's like, what day is it? Because we're like, okay, on Saturday we think it's Sunday because we have Friday off, and for forever and a day, Friday was a work day.
Yeah. It messes with you. It does.
Yes, it does. So I'm like, oh, when I retire, I'm not going to know what the hell day is. But I like that problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. But yeah, I can see how it definitely will screw with you.
Yes. Yep.
And I get the whole thing with the countdown making things slow down. Anytime you're waiting for something or looking forward to something, that's the only time it feels like time slows down. Like when you're a kid looking forward to Christmas, it seemed like it was forever.
Right.
And then now as an adult, I'm like, God damn it, I got to get my Christmas stuff started already. It's going to be Christmas soon.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, the only time it slows down even more is when you're bored. Yeah. I have
nothing to do.
And you have 8 hours in this job. Like, what am I going to fill the time with? And YouTube videos only go so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and that's when I'm not writing. When I'm writing, it goes by fast because,
you get in the zone.
I'll put my I'll put my normal computer over my work computer and write, and then say, okay, I've got this 2-hour window. I really have nothing to do now because I'm trying to offload all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? When I wasn't writing it, it's like, oh my God. Time is like going backwards.
Ooh, Anita, what are you doing? She said she wishes she could be bored these days.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just like, it's very different when you're in a day job board than when you're just, hanging out, because you can always change your scenery. You can always go for a walk. You can always pick up a book. You can always, go to the store.
Yep.
Or
you're strapped to the desk. You're supposed to be doing work.
Yep. It's just like,
too much editing, interviews, designs. Well, I'm glad that you're busy, though.
I'm glad you're busy. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's only so much fun you can have, sort of. Maybe. She made her joke.
We've got the kids back in school, so my day is now regimented again.
Okay.
I was not looking forward to. I enjoy the freedom of summer. We can kind of do our own thing. And with 2 kids in 2 different schools now, they go to school at different times, pickups are different times. And so it blocks my day out to where the first 3 hours of my day are all getting kids
travel,
school, getting kids to school, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I've got a 4 to 4.5 hour window where I can sit down at my computer and do what I need to do. And then we're back to another 2 hours worth of the pickups and all that stuff. And then dinner and then extracurricular. It's like the day is now back to that hard regimented schedule.
Yeah.
Limited free time to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And it until we fall into the schedule, it feels kind of oppressive right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm going to have to regiment, because I had mentioned that, maybe, during when we're in New Hampshire, maybe during the day I'll take a block of time and that'll be my writing time. And the other time will be playtime, because I can't do what I do now. I'm on work 8 hours and then writing at night, usually writing
around what works for you writing wise. Like even to this day, I still work best creatively at night.
Yeah. And I work best in the morning, but I've been able to squeak things out at night because I've had to.
Mm-hmm. So once you're free, then you'll be able to maneuver your scheduled writing time to where it best fits.
Yep. Where I'm best awake, where I'm best, I've had some bizarre dreams, let's go write this down.
I've had some very crazy dreams lately.
I have too. I have. Yeah. One that still sticks with me was, one earlier this week, and it was just bizarre. It was just.
Care to share, or is it too weird for?
I don't know how to explain it.
Oh.
But I can, because it's kind of amusing. So I know it must have been like Monday night at home, because it was when we were in New Hampshire, and that the Friday our friend came up here, and he looked worse for wear from the week of layoffs of people. So, but he didn't get to vent with us. Because we had other friends, we had Billy and Steph and everybody at the fire, so he was very reserved, and we were kind of worried about him because he looked rough, like he had a rough week, and no offense. So I think that was weighing on me, because I dreamed that we were in a bedroom that frighteningly looked like mine growing up. At my parents' house growing up. Okay. And he came in because they lived next door. I don't know why he was there at 3:00 in the morning, but he was there at 3:00 in the morning. And he had dropped something and he was trying to vacuum. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then I went downstairs and I realized Darren's family, and some other people were in the house having like a party. I'm like, why is everybody here at 3:00 in the morning? Okay, this is going through my head.
Okay.
And it wasn't a normal house that I even recall. The downstairs of it. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then the kitchen was long and narrow and almost like industrial. And my nephew was in there with a baby who was painting him with yogurt.
Okay.
And I was like, enough! Out! Everybody out! And I'm like, what in the God's name?
Chaos. Everything is chaos.
Yes, pretty much. A baby painting somebody with yogurt. This is the first time Darren's hearing this too. But I'm like, it started off with worry for our friends, and then the whole shit with the family, and then yogurt. I don't get it.
So yeah, your mind is working through the chaos right now. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, and I was just like, oh my God.
And Anita is time traveling and demon possession. That's a good one too.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, but I was just confused as to why everybody was there at 3:00 in the morning. And of course I woke up and it was like 3:30. Yeah. Yeah. It had to have been Monday night to Tuesday night because I was exhausted and I went to bed early. And yeah. Yeah. and I woke up at 3:30 and I didn't really get back to sleep because I was like trying to analyze what the hell that dream was. And whose house was I in ultimately?
It could be your mind stitching different rooms that you're familiar with together too.
Yeah, but that kitchen was just nothing like I have no idea. I have no idea. But yes.
Yep. Chaos.
Yes.
Chaos.
I snapped at the yogurt painting because it was everywhere. So it wasn't just on my nephew. It was everywhere.
I can imagine.
I was like, everybody out! And I remember screaming that and just waking up and like, what? But yeah. So that was my dream this week.
Okay.
At least it wasn't one of the scary ones where I'm being chased or trying to protect my kids or things like that.
Yes. I get those all the time.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Georgia Rain was one of those, was written after one of those dreams.
Okay.
And that's probably my most disturbing. I would say that's my most disturbing book to date.
Okay.
More so than Survival Games because it has kids in it. Mm-hmm. Survival Games is abuse of adults. Abuse of adults versus.
You can abuse them. That's
yes. Yep. So yeah.
I had a lot of those chasing or being chased or defending my kid dreams.
Yes.
I woke up one morning after slashing someone's throat in my dream.
Oh.
Yeah. They were after my kids.
Yep.
No guilt, no whatever. I just woke up and was like, damn straight.
Yep. You mess with my children, yep. The demon comes out. Yes. Yeah. So for all of those listening, this is where we get some of our ideas too. I just have no idea what that was to get any ideas from. But the chasing dreams, oh yeah. The being kidnapped dreams, that's where Survival Games came from. Mm-hmm. I stopped having that dream after I wrote that book, by the way.
Oh, so you worked it out then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And no, I can't say I stopped having that particular nightmare about my kids after writing Georgia Rain. So if people read Georgia Rain, they'll understand it. Especially as a parent, this is one of the worst nightmares that you can have.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sort of Yeah, but I don't know how to write out that last one.
It's just a lot of chaos.
Yes.
That is just chaos.
Pretty much. Yes, it was. It was complete chaos at 3:00 in the morning. And I remember going, why is everybody here at 3 a.m.?
You could turn that into like, a pack
Comedy.
of wolves.
Yeah.
The chaos of, the pack of wolves and the alpha finally just snapping on everyone, getting in line.
Yeah, I could. I mean, considering this is a werewolf one.
There you go. There's some tie-in for you.
Yep, exactly. There you go.
Because pack of wolves is basically just a family.
Yes. Yep. Just a family.
Just a really wild and chaotic family.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yes. And they have their pecking order.
Yeah. And family drama, let's face it, family drama is definitely something you can write. There's lots of examples out there.
Yes.
Some weirder than others. We talked about my family drama before the show.
Yes.
I don't even know how I would begin to write that.
Yeah. Narcissism 101. Both of us writing that. Yeah.
I've thought about that, writing my memoir, so to speak, but I don't think I actually want it to be out there. Mm-hmm. Like for me, it would probably be a cathartic thing to do just for myself.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I wrote my high school trauma. So, that's in silence. So that's out there. And I published it. That's the one book my daughter begged me to write. And then she read it and she bawled because she knew it was about me. And I made it fiction. I fictionalized names.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be some. No, I think most of it's pretty accurate to memory, to my experience, my viewpoint of what happened and what didn't happen and all of that stuff. So yeah. I just changed names basically. Like I thought about it. I'm like, no, I changed names. I'm like, did I add any? I don't think I did.
It can definitely be cathartic to do.
Yes. Yeah. And editing that this year, when I was doing the edits for stuff, I read it again and I was like, wow, shit. And I turned out okay. Well, that's debatable, right?
You turned out fine. You're doing good.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah.
But at least you're writing now, which is better than last month.
Yes, exactly. I mean, yeah, some nights are harder than others. Some nights the scene just comes and flows, which is nice. A lovely experience that we all know. Yes. Sometimes it's like really hard to even write a sentence, but I get a sentence out because I'm like, pull that tooth.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, my last book made my friend cry, so I'm happy.
Made someone cry.
Yeah, cute evil laughter. So, yeah, that's where I'm like, okay, I have to get to a certain point to really tie it in with later books, and it's a generational gap to tie it in some way. So I have to get to that point.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be done by October though.
I have faith in you.
Yeah. Well, it might be longer than I anticipated too, because I have to weave some of that in without doing huge time jumps.
Mm-hmm.
I did a 9-month time jump, so you know what that is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So I had to do a time jump there because I'm like, I don't want to go through all that, because it's at that point it's kind of tedium, and I don't, day in and day out of that. It's when the time comes. And
you have to
yeah,
find
like,
your way to brush through that stuff and get to the
yes,
important fun stuff.
yes, exactly. And it's like, okay, now that I've written that, I'm like, okay, where do I go from here?
Mm.
How do I get to the point that I need to, and the tension that I need to, you know?
Why don't you write the tension point and work backwards from it?
I could, but it's a lot. I mean, yeah, I could.
It's kind of like, it's the hopscotch method, but in a larger jump.
Yes, yes. And I have to make it cohesive. At least, the conversation in the beginning of the book ties in with that jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, shit, okay. Where bam, boom.
Like with the hopscotch method, sometimes
Yes.
writing that fun part is what gives you the motivation, the ideas to go back and write the maybe not as much fun part.
Right.
Or figure the tie-in out.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because I have to, it's the alpha and the beta that are together, and it's their offspring that this story is really about. So, but it's still based on the father's point of view.
Okay.
So it's the father.
That's tricky.
Yes, exactly. Not the mother's, the father's this time. Okay. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. So.
Well, we'll check in with you next month then and see where you're at.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying not to
spoil.
I know.
We're already almost to September now.
I know.
We have speed run through this year. I don't know where this year has gone.
Yeah. It has just like boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
And it's not been an easy year either.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Yeah. From, emotional standpoints, all other standpoints and things like that, it certainly has been a, time changing, looking at internally and externally, where do I want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Path for both of us, in different ways, but yes. So,
yep.
Yes, and as we say every week or every time we meet, we have to start that book. I've at least looked at the outline. Yes, I've at least looked at the outline.
Yeah.
Yes, because those covers can't just,
No, because they're too pretty. They're so pretty. We got to figure out some time to actually just
do it. Like Nike says.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because those covers need to go out. They're way too pretty.
Yes. Exactly.
When you showed them to me, that was like, yes.
Exactly. Yes. And we actually have a decent idea for the trilogy, so
that is true. We started off with more than what we had for the other one.
Right. Yes, we did. So it'll be cool once we get into it.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
And that's it for August.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. We've been a little nutty. And next week, hold on, is next week. Oh my God, is next week? Yeah, next week is Labor Day weekend. So I won't be here on that Saturday because it's Labor Day weekend. I'll be,
go have fun.
Outside at the fire drinking. Having fun with friends. So we'll probably join up again on the 7th.
That sounds about right. I think we should be good on that day. So let's plan for the 7th.
Yes.
And hopefully it will happen and nothing crazy happens between now and then.
Yep. And then, at that point I'll have 2 weeks left. Yeah, 3 weeks left of work.
Oh my goodness,
so yes.
Almost done.
Yep, exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
Final
I'm
countdown.
so ready. So ready to say, here's my work computer. Goodbye. Goodbye, lovely people. Thank you for the last 20 years.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Celebration time.
Yep, exactly.
All
Almost
right.
20. All right.
Well, then we will see y'all next time. And
Bye.
yeah, that's it.